Welcome to a week in the life of an indie writer. In this week, I'm going to be showing you some knickknacks I got. For example, I received these lovely notebooks from Nuna, a German notebook company, and I really love their design. But we started the week on our way to Kapitel 3, which is a book cafe in Hamburg. It's actually the only book cafe as far as I'm aware. Once we got there, we found a little table, had a seat, had some off-brand Coke, some olives, and got to editing. Now, life as a writer means that I have a lot to do and I don't really earn all that much money. So, for example, at the moment,
4 Buchprojekte, zu viele Buchprojekte.
I have to actually write a couple of manuscripts for 4 books in total. I don't think any of them will be majorly successful in the sense of bestsellers, I suppose, but that's not what I'm going for. I also got this book from Clara Umbach called Pizza Orlando.
Yeah!
It's queer and quite fantastic, so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to be moderating the premiere in February. I was also very excited to receive this letter in the mail. I have been going back and forth on whether or not to continue subscribing to Sticky, and what I've done ultimately is I've decided to subscribe to the Pop Pack. I really enjoy stickers, and these I think are quite delightful. So this is the self-care sticker set. Is that what it's called? I know it's called I Love Me. It comes with a couple of knickknacks and a bunch of stickers, and I really enjoy that. Part of being an indie writer means budgeting and deciding what you can spend money on. So if I or we have the opportunity to do so, we like doing things that don't cost too much. So we stay at home a lot. Thankfully, we like staying at home. But sometimes we go out on little adventures. If you ever find yourself in the north of Germany, you might want to go and visit this alpaca farm, which we did. So my best friend and roommate who lives with us, his sister actually owns this alpaca farm. And so we had the chance to hang out with the alpacas. They had babies this year, and walk with them. I was a bit concerned, right? Because you actually have to be quite firm when you have an alpaca on a leash. So I was afraid I was pulling too hard, as you'll be able to see in a moment. But alpacas, fortunately, are very strong-minded. And very stubborn.
So Leute, kommt mal mit. Komm mal mit.
So they won't actually walk with you if they don't want to. They'll just sit down and refuse to move. It's fairly rare for us to go out and do like these outdoorsy types of things, but sometimes we do. So now you can see us walking the alpacas a little bit. I've actually started the year out with a couple of challenges in mind. It was quite a freezing day, so that's why we are bundled up. But we didn't have gloves, so we had to share gloves, as you can see. And so far it's been going pretty well. But it depends, of course, from which point of view you're looking at things. So if you want to make money, I suppose the writing life isn't necessarily for you. It's a very slow life and a very cozy life in a way. But it can also be fairly stressful because you always have to figure out how you're going to pay for things. Yeah, you don't have that much money at the end of the day. Now this alpaca refused to walk across the hurdle at first, but we just took a little spin around and then we kind of managed to at least walk over one hurdle. I think it's really interesting how each of the babies stays with their mother. And then on the way back, there were these cats, and it was a gang of very rebellious cats, I suppose. So these cats, they just sit in the middle of the road. Even when cars come, they'll just sit in the middle of the road and just make the cars stop in front of them. And then we finished off the week with a meeting for a literature magazine that we didn't film, and then finally some D&D. Now these are some of the literature magazines I was talking about before. These are the first couple of magazines that we made. There's one missing, one where we weren't too involved in the editorial process. But I really love these. So this one is Rezo printed, and I like the way it looks. This was the prose issue. The first was the poetry issue. And the idea behind Processing magazine is that it shows work in process or in progress. So that means that aside from the final text, people also submit their notes, for example, or photographs or conversations maybe that they had when they were writing the text, or the editing process. And that's all part of the final result of the final magazine. This, the grey one, is the drama issue, the theatre text issue. And that's all for now. I'll catch you in the next one.